What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fourth and Goal Sports Show. We are back again with another live. I am joined by Reggie, Will, regular guest of the live, but today our main guest, JARIUS REIMONENQ, former D1 athlete at Arkansas State and James Madison University, now a DB's coach. Um, Pleased to have you, brother. We've connected, and I'm just excited for this live tonight. How are you feeling, man?
Man, first, I want to say I'm grateful for the opportunity. Thank you guys for having me on, and I'm excited.
Yeah, man. Thank you for joining. And just from the conversations that we've had, I can tell, you're a very genuine guy, very hard worker. And can you just to give a little introduction on yourself, being from Mississippi, being a D1 athlete, what was that like? What type of mindset did you have to have?
Uh, man, I guess in short terms, I just say being built different. I feel like being from Mississippi is not a whole lot of resources here, and not a lot of notoriety and publicity that you will see in places like Florida or Texas or California. So you kind of gotta have your own back and know how to get it out the mud, as they say. So that's kind of the reason why I just went so hard during my playing career and just um, really just marketed myself, and it paid off to where the Most High blessed me with opportunities to get recruited and everything. But I was always the guy just marketing myself, posting my film, reaching out to coaches and everything. So that's kind of the mindset you gotta have. You gotta have your own back. Nobody's gonna have your back like you. So that's the mindset I kind of adopted.
Absolutely. Yeah. And with that being said, I seen on another live you did, you was talking about just how competitive it is playing football in Mississippi. Um, you know, I've never been to Mississippi. I don't know much about Mississippi, but I know y'all do
Yeah.
have some dogs when it comes to athletics. What was that like, just competing against guys that are just the top of the top athletes in the country?
Man, it's an honor because everybody ain't able to go against elite talent on a weekly basis. Like just on my high school team, I played with two guys that went to the NFL,
Wow.
and it's rare. And then, over shoot, I can't even tell you, between the class of my senior year class, the class before me, and my junior year class, like over 20 of us went Division 1. And so that's just from my school alone. So in my region, like I've playing against guys that was drafted as early as the second round, third rounders. Like it was just a weekly thing for me. So, being in that environment, it's either sink or swim. So I didn't want to end up on nobody's highlights, on the wrong side of the highlights. So I had to work extra hard to go prove myself against elite talent. And then, the colleges that was recruiting me saw that. So, um, it's a lot of talent here. And some guys, get under recruited and necessarily may not get the big schools off rip. A lot of guys from Mississippi that are really good, they'll go JUCO first, and then they kind of blossom after JUCO. But we got a good bit of guys that go straight out of high school, big time D1. Like at the high school I work for, I've coached and trained the number 1 receiver in the country. So we got guys, and the number 2 receiver in the country also is from Mississippi. So we got number 1 and number 2 right here in the state of Mississippi. So we got guys, but just a lot of us don't go out D1 straight out of high school. Some of them go JUCO route first, and then they blow up after JUCO.
Reggie, Will, y'all got some?
I'm about to say, Will, you want to go first? I can let you go first if you got a question.
I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna pass to y'all because I don't want
Okay.
it to. I'm asking
Okay.
so many questions,
Yeah.
but yeah, um, like you was talking about, just all of what you was saying. So going D1, um, I mean, I know just from being on my team with my guys in high school, like everybody wants to go D1, but everybody can't go D1. It's a lot of politics with that, and it's also like you got to make connections. Um, you being a person who made it D1 as an athlete, a defensive back, going to Arkansas State and JMU. What was that process like going from the high school level to the college level, and going from Arkansas State to James Madison?
Um, so first, going from high school to college, it was definitely it was exciting, but it was definitely an adjustment because in high school I'm 3-star, all state, this, that, and the third, and I'm the guy. But you get to college, so is everybody else where they're from. They were 3-star, all state, or Mr. Football. Like, so now you step into a room with guys that recruited who were also the top dog where they were from. Or and not only that, guys that have been there who were all conference and all Americans and this, that, and the third. So, and you in the locker room with grown men. And when I got to college, I'm always been the one of the younger guys for my class. So I was 17 when I stepped foot on campus and started my first fall camp. And I'm in the locker room with 23, 24-year olds, and I got to hold my own. Nobody felt bad for me or, really tried to, I was cool with some older guys, but when nobody sitting me down and showing me how to study plays and hey, inviting me to come work out with them and teaching me technique and stuff like that. Uh, and there's no disrespect to the older guys that was on that team because I had some guys that I'm still very cool with and I have the utmost respect for. But I'm saying it's a dog eat dog world. They there trying to get to the NFL, try to prove themselves, and here I am, some freshman coming in to really take their spot, and they know that's what I was there to do. But so it was definitely an adjustment because you got to learn. They give you a playbook about this big, and the coach is speaking. He might as well be speaking a different language when it come to just learning that next level terminology and schemes and techniques and stuff like that. So and they not doing a whole lot of slowing down to walk you through. It's like, hey, I need you to go out there, reroute the dude off the seam route, push to the flats, and hinge to the sideline. You like, hold on, wait. You need me to what? What is a reroute? Like, most people don't know coming out of high school the exact terminologies and stuff like that for the next level of football. So that was definitely an adjustment for me. And I went to a good high school that did a good job of introducing us to different schemes and techniques and everything like that. But it still wasn't compared to what I stepped in college. And then not only the physical aspect, like I had to get stronger, faster, and it was a while before. And I had a really good fall camp as a freshman, but I wasn't playing off rip. I had to work my way up the depth chart, and it wasn't until about halfway through the season where I got the starting job at cornerback. So it was definitely a learning curve. And then first time being on your own, got a first taste of freedom. So kind of feeling yourself, you outside your parents' wing. So, trying to have fun a little bit, but at the same time, you got to learn this stuff if you're serious about being a good player.
So my question is, first, I think I can speak for everybody. I'm glad that you have come on, taking time out of your day. My question for you is, you said something very interesting. Like it took you a while to really learn like the terminology of the cornerback position. So when did you feel like you leveled up in college? Like, oh yeah, I'm this guy. This is the guy that I was in high school, and I know I can compete with these dudes that's 24, 25-year old as a freshman. Because you say you became a cornerback with your second year. If I'm correct, if I'm wrong, you can let me
Yeah.
know. But you say you became a cornerback in your second year. So when did you feel like, oh yeah, I leveled up. I am who I am from high school now that I'm in college.
So it really was, it wasn't my second year. I actually
Mhm.
became the starter by week 6 of my
Oh,
freshman year.
okay. Sorry about that.
Um so no, you good, you good. So and my first game, my first snap was kind of rough, like because I was nervous going when I found out I was getting my first start. So I started off the game kind of shaky, but it was, I think, after I had my first mistake. And actually, like my uncle was at the game, and he like pulled me to the side and was like, "Hey man, relax, just play football, like just play." So I went back out the next drive. They tried me on a deep ball, and I broke it up. And I'm like, I literally just went out there and played. I did the technique that I was doing in high school. That I had fine tuned it a little bit by that point, but doing the same thing. Dude, come off the ball, give me a release. I shuffle, kick step, cut him off, and I lean and locate for the ball. I make a play on it, and I get up and I do my celebration. I'm like, I can do this. Like, so then they trying me the rest of the game. I'm making tackles. I'm getting big hits, breaking up passes, and I'm like, these dudes ain't no better than me. Like, so what? I'm 18 out here. Like, it was guys on that team who were projected to go to the league and this, that, and the third, but it didn't matter. Once I really relaxed, and I still didn't understand everything schematically, but just confidence wise and um with just pure athletic ability, I'm like, man, these guys is all hype. Like I put in just as much work as them. Age really don't have, or size really don't have that much to do with it when you get to this point. It's how much are you working? And I know I had put in just as much work as anybody else. So once I just was able to rely on my training, I could play free. So it wasn't that long. It was long for me, but looking back, being able to be a starter by week 6 of your freshman year is pretty good for most cases. So definitely grateful that I got that opportunity.
And you said something very interesting about confidence. Like you're talking to three Washington Commanders fans, and everybody knows with the Emmanuel Forbes situation, him
Yeah.
going to a new team. Just tell like the people that haven't played football before or only watch football from a TV perspective. You not only playing football, but the position that is a very hard position to play, corner. Like people don't understand how hard cornerback is literally. Tell us
Man.
the importance of confidence, not only in the cornerback position, but when you look at a guy like an Emmanuel Forbes who went from the Commanders, where a team pretty much gave up on him to him being on the Rams, and he has so much leeway. And now you have old Commanders fans saying, dang, yeah, there's still some things he could work on, but the confidence is there. Like he just looks
Yeah.
different. He's playing better than he's playing the way that Commanders fans thought he should have been playing with. So tell us the importance of confidence.
Man, confidence at first of all, confidence in life is just essential. Like, especially just as a man, like if you want to be respected, you need to be confident in what it is that you're doing, whatever it is you're talking about, whatever business you run. That's just on a life tip. Now in football in general, you need confidence for any position. But DB, that's a whole nother ball game, bro. Cause like you on an island and it's just you, that receiver, and God, and thousands of people watching you, and you're going backwards, and you have no idea what this dude in front of you is finna do. So you got to be confident, and it's kind of like you have to be your own biggest fan to kind of like psych yourself out a bit, to be almost almost cocky, but you got to know how to wear it in a way to where you don't come off as arrogant. There are some guys who do come off as arrogant, but I mean, like at DB, you got to be that way, bro, because like
Mhm.
at one sec, just one, you can make one play, and I say this, you can be locking a guy up all game. Like they try him 10 times, you break up nine of them. But you give up one deep ball at the end of the game, everybody in the stands gonna want your head on the stick. And they're gonna forget about, like, dang, what about the other nine times I just locked the dude up? That's
Mhm.
just life as a DB. So you have to always believe in yourself because people gonna turn your back on you. I say this, the next hardest position to quarterback is DB, like specifically cornerback. Because safety's
Mhm.
hard too, but you're not in a lot of you're not in as many man on man matchups as you are as corner. So you gotta have it. And confidence, the way you build your confidence is through your preparation. Like if I know I done worked on, like in the off season, I done did 4 days a week of working on my coverage skills and my flipping my hips and locating the ball out the air, and then preparing in the week of the game. I'm watching film. I'm studying my opponent, so I know whenever he comes to the line of scrimmage and he do this with his gloves, that mean he getting the ball. Like all of that is how you build your confidence because I'm overly prepared. Like so, of course, I'm gonna believe in what I did because I put in countless hours perfecting my craft and studying my opponent, and that's how you build your confidence. And you gotta have it as a DB to be a good one.
Well, you got a question, or I can ask one more.
I thought you were still going. So, hello.
Okay, you good? You good? You
Hello,
good?
Jarius. So question, was you starting when you got to James Madison?
That's a good question. No, I was not, and it's man, my story at James Madison is actually a crazy story. But I'm definitely grateful for everything and how it played out. But I got there, so James Madison was transitioning from FCS to FBS, and I had already been playing at the FBS level in the same conference. And I just came off my second team all conference season at Arkansas State, and you know, during my recruiting process, I just knew going to James Madison, I was going to be, one of the guys. Like I knew I was going to have to work for my position, but I didn't think I was going to come in third string. So when I got to James Madison, I was third string off rip, and I was like, dang, like cause I had other offers. I'm like, I could have went somewhere else and at least been second string competing for the starting job, knowing, I just came off all conference season. I'm feeling myself. But, it is what it is. I ain't never been scared of no competition. I ain't never been scared of no work. So, man, I put my head down and worked. And it was actually tough because during our first spring practice, I'm off to a good start. And I wind up pulling my hamstring, so I'm already third string. First day of spring practice, I pulled my hamstring. So now I'm out for like 2 weeks. And so I'm like, man, this is going really bad. Like I just transferred here. I'm injured. I'm already third string. What the world, God? Like, what's going on? But during that time, I made sure while I knew I wasn't gonna be able to practice, so I'm making sure I'm staying involved, letting the coaches know that I'm serious and I'm here, like I'm not going nowhere. So I'm putting in extra time, making sure I study the playbook, and I actually moved. I was playing safety there when I first got there. So I'm studying the playbook. I'm still at practice, watching the guys go out there and compete and staying involved and trying to learn my new team. And once I got back healthy, I started back getting reps at safety. I'm performing really well. We have a spring game, and I wound up playing really good. I had think I graded the highest for my position from that spring game. So I although I missed some time, I showed my coaches that like, hey, you got to respect what I just did. Like I missed time, I came back, and I just graded out the highest. So I deserve a fair opportunity now to get on the field and compete for a starting job. Um, but it didn't work out that way. So we end spring ball. We go through the summer and I find out they're moving my position. So they moved me from safety to now. So I worked my way up to at least second string safety. Now they move me again to third string nickel. So I have to start for fall camp. And this is right before the season. So now I got to start all over again, working my way up the depth chart to compete for a starting job again. So put my head down again and man, just go to work. And I the guys that I was in position battles with, those actually wind up being the guys that I was closest to. Just because like I never believed on in hoping somebody else didn't do something so I could get my opportunity, if you know what I mean. Like I just wanted to work. And like even those guys, like I was working with them. I'm studying the playbook with them. I'm doing extra workout sessions with them. And it's at that point, it's like the better you get, the better I'm gonna get because I'm not gonna stop. So the more you keep going, the better it's gonna make me. And I think that's just what made us a good team too, because we got to a point where we were just able to rotate guys in and out, and everybody was producing, and that's why we were winning the way we were winning and shooting. It's still going now, but so to answer your question, no, I didn't start off rip, and I had to work my way up. And even when I became the starter, I still was competing for a job every single day. Like the position battle never stopped. I just got to a point where the coaches trusted me to play and make big time plays. But we had other guys. Those guys were good. Like shoot, I got nothing but respect for my teammates. Them guys were good. Like shoot, my senior year, me and my boy, he played nickel as well. We were both all conference playing the same position. He had an opportunity in the NFL, and I got an opportunity as well. So, like, I can't take nothing away from them guys. They just made me better. And even from my coaches, just not giving me the position, like, shoot, they just made me better. They brought something out of me that I really had to go dig for and work for to be a better player and just a better person.
Love that, man. Coaches are very critical in developing players, and you know, I know you've been. I've seen your story when you're supporting your former coach, Indiana's coach Signetti.
Yes,
Am I
sir.
pronouncing it correctly?
The mob boss. Yeah, that's that's it. Signetti.
So he coached you at Arkansas State.
No, at JMU.
Oh, at JMU. Okay, and
Yes,
and
sir.
and just how was that? How was that playing for a coach? He's doing awesome right now. Um,
Mm.
you know, how was it playing for him?
It was a good experience, man. When I first got there, he's definitely different than what I was accustomed to. I was more accustomed to coaches being more vocal and more hands-on with like the on-field practices and everything. And I was accustomed to our, being at the facility and stuff all day. Like at Arkansas State, our meetings were longer, our practices were longer. We just spent a lot more time at the field house in the facility. But uh, his program, the way he did things, was just completely different than what I was used to. So it was some adjusting for me, and I had to get used to it. At first, I didn't understand a lot of the things that he did, and I disagreed with a lot of the things that he did. But he was a winner, and I couldn't take that away from him. And I think just the more I got to know him and the more we talked and the more I responded to his challenges, because he used to
Mm.
challenge me a lot. And the more I responded to his challenges, the better I got. So I'm like, at this point, like I can see he knows what he doing. He know what he talking about. But he was a man. He still is a man of few words. But when he speaks, like he's saying something real, and you probably need to listen. Uh, he don't do a lot of cussing and fussing. Like he will, but that's not his mo. Like he gonna say something one time just like this, and he gonna mean what he say, and people move. It gets done. He don't believe in holding his players at the facility all day or holding his coaches at the facility all day. Um, he just believes in like being efficient with your time and then having your time away so you can feel refreshed when you come back. Um, and shoot, I liked it. I loved playing for him. Like, shoot, he gave me an opportunity. Shoot, at first, like I said, he challenged me a lot. But once he saw that I was a good player, shoot, he was my biggest supporter. It's actually a funny story. It was one game. I didn't really play that much the beginning of the game. And it was a back and forth game. We were in the shootout. I didn't really play that much the beginning of the game, and my position coach actually tried to put me in. But Sig took me out the game, and like his exact words was like, "Why'd you put Jarius in the game?" Because this is at the time me and him were kind of clashing. But I was still a good player. I just wasn't. I just hadn't adapted to, I guess his way of doing things. But he called it the JMU way. But now it's the Indiana way. But it's really the Signetti way. I hadn't adapted to his way of doing things yet. So he didn't trust me as much as I thought he should. But so my coach tried to put me in the game early in the game. Signetti took me out. And I was like, dang, why you take me out, man? Like I'm ready. Like, but it kept going back and forth. So then my position coach was like, look, hey Jerry, it's like, go. Like, if we get chewed out, I'ma take it. Just go. Like, I trust you. Man, I went out there on my first play out there. They tried me on the deep ball, broke up the pass. And then like literally you see Signetti jumping up on the sideline. Let's go, let's go. And I talked to him. I'm like, yeah, man, stop playing with me, man. Stop playing with me, man. I'm like that. But and then the next, I wound up finishing the game. I played really well. It was actually against Georgia Southern. It was our first game being ranked top 25. So emotions were high. It was a close game. So, I get it. But moments like that just made me better and it made me work harder. So and it meant a lot to me to know like, all right, this dude just didn't trust me like an hour ago. I come here on the biggest stage, I prove myself, and now, he's cheering for me. And then from that moment I earned his trust.
You talked about you mentioned like coach, and I know you proud of the success that he's having at Indiana, winning the Big Ten. And congrats to Coach Cincinnati, being Ohio State, the defending national champ, to win the Big Ten. That is an
Hmm.
impression. That is an impressive accomplishment, and that makes him Indiana roar, because
Sure.
everybody thought Ohio State was, the big bad wolf. They were going to go all the way undefeated. And he
I sure
was the
did.
first guy to beat them.
He proved me
And
Hmm.
wrong because my boys was hitting me up. They was like, "Look, it was like Tyrus. Didn't you say Ohio State was gonna win this game?" And I was wrong. Hey, I'm excited
Yeah.
for the playoffs though. I'm excited, but yeah,
I'm,
Yeah.
he's
yeah,
really changing that program. My fault, Reggie. Go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, you good. No, I just know. Yeah, he mentioned coach and like how he was a big part of his, success. So I just wanted to shout him out because I know what he did was probably the biggest win of the season for any
Yeah,
team.
for
But
sure. For sure.
um you mentioned like my question is like with coach earning coach trust, and everybody has said like in sports is always a copycat league, whereas the MLB, the NBA, NFL, your transition to being a DB coach have have you taken some of the leadership style that Coach Cook has taught you while being at JMU and apply it to the players that you're working with now, or not necessarily like being a copycat from him, but like what has he taught you when it comes to not only coaching your players, but how to understand your players and what they need from you as a DB coach?
Um, yeah, for sure. I definitely learned, um, some coaching ideologies and philosophies from him because he's a winner. But I got my own style, my own way. I'm my own person. But it'd be foolish to be under leadership like that and not learn from it and try to implement some of the secrets to success. So I definitely have taken just some of the ideologies and philosophies I learned from him and some of my other coaches as well, like my DB coach um at James Madison. Like, shoot, that's my guy. Like, he played a big part in my development as well, and it's definitely showing with now me being on the other side as a coach. It's definitely helped me with being able to relate to my players on a personal level, but also coach them up to be winners and be champions and play at a what it takes to play at a championship level.
Okay. And then my second part question is you talk about like, your DB coach being a big influence in, having coach trust you. So my question was like, was he the biggest like attribute for your transition to become a DB coach because you had that DB coach believing you thought, what, just because like I know I'm a good DB, but because that DB coach believed in me, I want to do the same thing with kids, like making them instill not only that faith, but that belief that I have in them, just like how my DB coach did with me at James Madison.
Oh yeah, he played a part in that. I knew since pretty much high school that coaching is always something I wanted to do if I didn't go to the NFL or whenever I got done playing football, because I just always just had a heart for helping people and teaching people. Even as when I was a player, like I was any type of technique or anything that I learned, I was teaching to my teammates in high school. I did the same thing at Arkansas State when I got to JMU. So having a good DB coach, um like I had, like he just he did kind of help confirm that for me because I saw how he was with the player, how he still is with the players, and um how he just kind of believes in his guys. He believes in his techniques and he believes in his guys, like and he shoot used to he come to us before every game and sing a song like it, I ain't gonna say the song, but it's a Boosie song
Yeah.
that he was singing to us to turn us up. And I'm like, man, like, um, it was just good to have a coach because like I told you, a DB confidence to it. So it's good to have a coach who is confident and also, bringing that confidence to his players as well. So, that definitely it's something I do for my boys. Like I tell them all the time, like I'm gonna take us over anybody. Like that's just what it's gonna be. And whoever, if they beat us, they gotta earn it. It ain't nothing gonna be sweet, ain't nothing given. And I love them up too. So
That's the mentality
good
right there.
question.
That's what I try to do
Definitely mentality.
with the guys that I coach too. That's the mentality. So another thing I wanted to ask, um, so on that college journey, you start at Arkansas State. What was that commitment process like? Being a high school athlete and going to D1 level. What was that commitment process like?
You mean like just committing or like
Like
signing?
the recruiting process, I should say.
Oh,
My
okay.
fault.
I
Yeah.
got you. I got you. So my recruitment, I actually Arkansas State wasn't my first initial commitment. Um, I or that I tried to commit to. I'd say so. Uh, I had like 20 offers, but my top five schools came down to Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Florida Atlantic when Lane Kiffin was there. Um, Louisiana Lafayette with Billy Napier was there, and it's crazy because now he's the coach at JMU, which is crazy, and Arkansas State. And initially, out of those schools, I gave a commitment to Vanderbilt, but that was the summer going into my senior year. But because they brought me on a visit, and this was the first time I realized like, okay, this college game is it's dirty. It's a business. Well, I wouldn't say it's dirty. It's just a business. It can be dirty with some, depending on who you with, but it's a business. Because I went on a visit there, uh, and I they asked me to get on the board and draw up some coverage. I drew it up, and the coaches were blown away. Like, oh man, you're a Vanderbilt guy. Like, we love you. Like, you're gonna come here. We see you playing this position. Like, you're gonna do this. We've already seen you against our top recruits. We love you. Da da da. So I'm like, bet. Talk to my parents, and I told the head coach I wanted to commit, and they were like, oh, well, awesome, awesome. So like, we're gonna do a post for you and stuff. We're gonna talk it over as a staff, and we'll send you back like your commitment edit and everything like that. This is on the visit. So, I'm leaving the visit thinking like, oh man, I just committed to, Vanderbilt. Like this is good. Man, I never heard from them again, which is crazy. No explanation. No, nothing. Like I'm on the way home. I get home. I'm texting the coach like, "Yo, coach, what's up?" Da, da, da. No response. I text another coach. Coach, what's up? Like, what? Appreciate the visit, all this type stuff, and that coach wound up responding, but he was kind of just acting weird, and I'm like, what's up? So I think I reached out to a coach again one more time. I'm like, yeah, like I see, I get the hit, I get the hint. Like I'm not finna keep begging someone, for a commit to accept my commitment, especially if you told me you already did. But so from that point on, I'm gonna focus on the schools where I'm a priority. So it really came down to Louisiana Lafayette, Arkansas State, and at the time, Arkansas State was like the cream of the crop of the Sun Belt. They had played for five out of the last seven conference championships. Um, they had sent multiple guys to the NFL. Just got a brand new facility being built and everything. So I'm like, the head coach, the DB coach, like the whole staff, like they loved me. Like I was their top guy, and I felt it. Um, so I'm like, if I went on my visit there, it felt like home. So, came signing day, I felt comfortable signing with Arkansas State. And, that's where I enrolled.
So I have a question for you. So I hear you was getting, looked at by
I
Vanderbilt.
can't hear
Sorry
you,
to
Will.
hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello,
Nah,
hello.
I can hear you, Jairus. You can't hear him.
Nah, I can't hear. I can hear you. I can hear Reggie. I just can't hear William.
Can you hear me?
Uh,
Hello, hello.
Man,
Yeah,
live don't want us to
I'm
be
a,
great.
yeah. Okay, he's gonna leave and come back. While he's
that's
gone, I
you
do
got
have.
you got a question?
Yeah, I do. So,
Okay, gotcha.
Jairus, we've been fellowshipping, we've been studying, the Most High's word together. One
Yes,
question
sir.
I have to ask, because I asked Preston when he was on as well. Shout out Mr. Preston Hale. He's been on the channel.
Yes,
Was
sir.
amazing.
Shout out P, man.
Yeah, amazing. But yeah, so throughout that college journey, you probably went through a lot of obstacles. You probably went through a lot of challenges. Um, what kept you grounded throughout all of that, and how did you kind of lean on your faith through those hard times, and just to keep going.
Man, what kept me grounded, man, I mean, it was my faith, no doubt about it. Also just having supportive uh just supportive family and friends who are also on their own individual walks with God, that were able to kind of give me, a kick in the butt when I needed it, and give me encouragement and words of wisdom when I needed it as well. Man, without God and without my family and those friends and mentors that I had around me, I would have lost my mind, bro. Cause like, at one point, I wasn't who I am now. I had lost my way. I had let some of the publicity and notoriety I was getting get to my head, and I wasn't living right, and God humbled me like big time. And when I was at my lowest, I know, like, some of the men, and sure, one of the coaches, we still talk to this day. He wasn't a DB coach, but he played a big part in just being someone who was able to mentor me spiritually to help me get back on path that I needed to get on. And we had a team chaplain who did a really good job, just very genuine guy, and spent a lot of time talking to him. And I had some friends on the team. This is, I saw them. Of course, my family was there. They were always very supportive, encouraging. But just besides my family, I had friends on the team who were uh, who were believers as well. And they we would talk about God and life and our goals and everything like that. And it just, sometimes I would ask myself, like, dang, if this is my goal, why am I living like this? Like, I'm working away from who I say I want to be. And but having those people to talk about that with, it was a blessing. So thank you to all of those people. If you're watching, coaches, mentors, thank you to my friends who were there for me during that time, and still now. Like, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'm back now. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So my original question was, I hear you was getting looked at by Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Arkansas State. Why was there no in-state school? So I hear you from Mississippi. Was that like what went about that process? Why there wasn't no in-state school looking at you?
Man, I had an offer from Southern Miss and Alcorn State. Um, those were the only two in-state schools that offered me. But man, shoot, your guess is as good as mine. God just, he didn't want that for me. And I know for a fact that's just not what God wanted for me. Like, at the time, Coach Matt Luke, he was the head coach at Ole Miss, and he came to one of our games to watch. Um, he came to watch one of my teammates play and somebody from the other team play. And man, I had four interceptions that game and a pick six, and I still didn't get no recruitment from Ole Miss. I got a little bit of recruitment from Mississippi State, but like, I didn't get no recruitment from Ole Miss. So at that point, I'm like, man, what else do you need to see? Like, but that's just not what God wanted for me, bro. So I wanted to stay in state, but it just didn't work that way.
As you see, you got a McRae sports group, I want to say
Oh
like a
yeah,
jacket type. So,
you see, got it right.
explain, your role with McRae sports group. What is it about? And what is the day-to-day operation within McRae sports groups?
So McCray Sports Groups
Or
is
McRae, I'm
a
sorry. McRae.
oh no, you good, you good. It is a athletic agency. So we represent college athletes, NFL athletes, is also certified for the NBA and college basketball as well. And my role with McCray Sports is to be a talent scout. So, my job is pretty much uh, I'm recruiting guys to the agency. So I see good high school football players, college football players, or guys that are in the NFL have hopes of going to the NFL. Or and the same for basketball, good high school basketball players, college basketball players, NBA players. And my job is to get them to sign with the best agency in the game, which is McCray Sports. And so, my day-to-day operations just looks like reaching out to guys, making phone calls, uh, setting up contract negotiations with these guys between them and different universities, and getting them in a position to win, creating a win for the organization that they're going for, with them getting our client, and putting my client in a position to find a good home, and also to make the amount of money that they're worth to perform and do what they need to do to grow the organization. And I'm also tasked with the responsibility of retaining the players that we have recruited. So to me, I'm grateful for the opportunity. Shout out to our CEO Bobby McCray, who had the conviction to start his own agency, and for giving me an opportunity to do this. But it just goes back to what I feel like I'm called to do, which is just help people, put people in a position to win. And it don't feel like a job to me. It's just, I'm in a position, I get to help guys. Like, I was in that position, wanting somebody to negotiate my NIL deal, or wanting, helping me navigate through the portal, and navigate to getting to the NFL. So, I'm in a position to help these guys that were in my shoes. And so I just believe in, like, you doing right by people. Um, you know, Majority of the times they'll do right by you. So yeah, I'm grateful to be here, bro.
So I have a
I'm about to
question
say,
for you.
go ahead, well, my bad.
So I don't know if you could or not, but can you just name some of the notable players that's in McCray Sports?
Yes, sir. I can do that. Kalon Black, he's a running back for Indiana, starting running back for Indiana University. EJ Williams, starting receiver for Indiana University. DeCarlos Nilkison, starting cornerback for USC. Um, man, Kevin Otis, uh, true freshman at the University of Arkansas, former four-star Army All-American. Um, and we cooking up something right now with a couple other guys, but I'll just stop there.
I think it's very impressive with some of the guys that you have bought in, and some of the guys that you are talking to in hopes of joining the agency. Has NIL and the evolution made it easier for you as an agency, not only to look at the talent, but also when it comes to negotiating with the college, when it comes to different deals or different sponsorships they could have?
Oh, it definitely has, but I think it's it's more beneficial to the players, as it should be. But it's definitely created a space for agencies to just help more guys, help them make more money that these guys deserve to make and should have been making. If you ask me, like, I kind of caught the tail end of NIL. It didn't really it became a thing my junior year of college in 2021, but it didn't really. start to kick off to the point where like the group of five, the smaller schools were able to like really pay guys like real money until like my senior year. So and now, it's a whole different ball game now. But it definitely has created a new space to where agencies are able to help guys and also, grow their agencies from it. So, it's a good time to be in sports.
So I have a question. If any high school or college football players was looking for an agency to join, why should they join McCray Sports?
That's a really good question. Um, First of all, man, um, we're people of character. Um, we pride ourselves on not only being high quality agents and a high quality team with high quality representation, but being a high quality person. I believe the best way for you to, I guess, earn someone's respect or recruit someone to even like you is to really be about what you're talking about. And that's what I can say. The people on this team, we are, and we have a trained, a licensed practicing physician on staff who's also a certified NFL agent. And when it comes to preparing and taking care of our athletes holistically, mentally, physically, and financially, making sure you're in a position to win. I don't, I don't, I don't think there's other agencies that are doing it with the level of I guess just genuine care for the person inside the helmet that we are. And I can speak from um my personal experience because I was represented by McCray Sports when I declared for the NFL draft. And there were multiple times during that where um my team was just very supportive, and not only supportive, they were very in tune with who I am as a person, and they cared about the things that was going on in my life outside of football, and it was genuine. Like, man, the CEO would call my phone and just ask me, "Hey, man, how are you feeling today? Like, how's your mind? How's your mental? Like, do you need anything? How's your body? Oh, your back hurt? I'm gonna set you up with this therapist to make sure that get the training you need." And then man, like that was just, to me, it seems small, but it showed me that these people care about me. You're asking about, what I think about this topic, what I want to do outside of football, and like helping me put a plan together with, if I didn't go to the NFL, like, hey, what could you see yourself doing outside of playing football? Could you coach? Could you train? Like, these are conversations we had on a regular basis. And it's really like a lifetime, deal. Like, I don't feel like they just represented me for the NFL. Like, they were representing me even once I didn't go to the NFL. And I think that's just what sets us apart. And like, I know Deshaun Jackson um worked with our CEO Bobby McCray for a long time. And my CEO, actually still works with him to this day as a coach. He's still his agent. So it's a lifetime deal. But it's not nothing like, legally binding, but I'm just saying they're loyal. We're loyal, we care, it's genuine, it's real, and we're good at what we do, the best at what we do. So, man, and we care about more than just money and numbers. We want to see our clients healthy and wealthy.
You are a man that has so many roles, like not only just now, but like when you playing. which one, or is there a specific one that has taught you the most about yourself, or have you learned about yourself little by little through each of the roles that you have played?
Man, that's that's a good question. Man, I would say I'm learning every day more and more about myself. Like some of the roles that I have aren't even roles that I necessarily just picked for myself. It's just things just kind of worked out that way. And I'm learning more about myself every day. And I think each role that I do play, like even on the field, has just made me who I am today and preparing me for who I'm gonna be in the future. Um, so I'm grateful for it. I always try to learn the lesson in everything, in the wins and the losses. So um, it's it's just life. Life's a lesson. So it's definitely uh, I'm learning as I go and applying what I learn to the best of my ability. Um, so I can't tell you what's next, but I just know I'm gonna do my best at what I'm doing now.
So I have a question for you. Was this always what you imagine yourself doing in life? And if not, when did this become your life?
Oh, shoot. N- What I'm doing now is not what I imagine myself doing. Like I would have told you would have asked me 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I would have told you I'm gonna be in the NFL and like just playing football for somebody pro team. Um, but man, like shoot, I say God has different plans than what we have for ourselves, and you just got to stay in alignment with Him in order to know when it's time to pivot or pick up another role or drop a role or whatever the case may be. So by me playing football, I made some valuable connections with people, and I worked extremely hard at what I was doing. And naturally, what's always been in me has been to help and empower others. Um, and now with the roles that I have been blessed with, with being a talent scout, with being a coach and a trainer, and some of the other things I do, that I'm in a position to help people. So, um, man, I'm just blessed and just grateful, and just trying to do the best I can.
A question I wanted to ask too. We mentioned them previously, but so how did you and Preston connect, and how did you guys dang, both of y'all are into training, both of y'all DBs, uh, both of y'all
Yeah.
coaching. I mean, y'all got a lot in common. Can you reference that?
So, man, it's actually crazy how we connected because we have been following each other for years, but we never talked. I never trained with him. Like, I was in Arkansas and Virginia, and like, I didn't even know he was in Arizona until recently, but whole time, the dude been in Arizona. But, recently, within the last like 3 months, we've kind of guys grown closer just through Instagram. Because I've always admired his work as a trainer. I just never had the opportunity to train with him. And I think he was, I noticed he started being more active as far as like on some of the things that I would post about like just training or life. And then I started really paying attention more to just some of the things that he posted, like just about life and sharing stuff about the mindset and everything like that. I'm like, okay, like this guy, we kind of think similar in certain aspects. So I think I slid up on one of his posts. He posted about something I can't even remember, and then from then, like we had a conversation, and like we aligned on certain views, And like, man, like shoot, now he's like a brother to me. Like that's he's just a really solid guy, and shoot, I admire his work. So, um, you find somebody like that, you kind of gotta keep him around, try to pick his brain. So that's what I do. I try to pick his brain, man, and just be a sponge because he's been in the game longer than I have. He's trained more guys longer than I have. The dude and created a whole invention that blew up. So it's like, yeah, he's doing it on a higher level. So I
Shout out
I
Jump
admire
Ball
that.
Sports.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out, jump ball training for real.
Jump Ball training, yeah.
My question is, you have accomplished everything that I feel like you could accomplish up to this point, whether it's on the field and off the field. And I know you still have a lot of goals that you have in mind that you setting out to accomplish. As of right now, what advice would you give yourself to 18-year-old Jarius right now? As an older guy, doing everything you're supposed to do. If you had to go back, what would you tell 18-year-old Jarius right now?
You want the cookie cutter version, or you want the raw and uncut version?
It's up to you.
We want
Whatever
the
you
raw.
feel like.
Give it to
Yeah,
us real, man.
it's up
Always.
to you. It's up to
What
you.
what I would tell my 18-year-old self for real is don't get distracted by women. That's what I would tell myself, man. Cause just from reading the Bible, man, like you see, and just throughout history, even if you don't read the Bible, you see like, man, the rise and the fall of great kings has been surrounded by women. So if you choose wrong, you know it's gonna cost you. You choose right, it's gonna bless your life. But when you choose wrong, or you just uh develop a lifestyle of just chasing the wrong things, making that your goal, it can distract you. So that's the advice I would give myself, man.
That's actually some great advice because a lot of people really don't think like that, until everything has really fallen from them. And
Right.
that's actually some great advice. I appreciate that advice, or appreciate, the advice you gave for somebody that's listening today that's, turning 18, about to hit adulthood. Don't get distracted by women. Just, focus on you. Like women will come later, but
Yeah.
focus on you first and do what you gotta do to set yourself up, not only for a better future short term, but also a better future long term. So that's some great advice.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's add some little fun to it. Who is your favorite DB you like to watch right now?
Right now, oh man.
It could be college, NFL.
Hmm. My favorite, I'm gonna be a little biased. My favorite
Okay,
is Carlos Nicholson. That's my
okay,
boy at USC.
got
Like,
you.
shoot, like we from the same city. I train him. So like every game I'm tuned in. I ain't miss a game. I ain't missing a snap. I'm watching. Cause he know after the game, I'm gonna be chopping it up with him like, hey man, like I'm proud of you, bro, all that type of stuff. So that's my favorite DB to watch right now.
Okay,
My favorite all time, is Tyrann Matthew. That's my guy. But
okay.
right now I've been keeping up with my boy D Nick. So
That's
check
a
him
that's
out
a
in the
real answer
Alamo
right
Bowl.
That's real. That's real. Yeah, that's why I said college, NFL. I didn't want you, whoever's your favorite is your favorite. Like you said, that's
Mm,
I grew up. He's from the same hometown. Like watching him play. So I appreciate that answer. Appreciate that.
Question I gotta ask. I saw you posting about it. I saw you was hype. JMU first ever SUNBELT championship. How does
yeah.
that feel? Just being an alum of the school, seeing those boys ball out. Hey, how does that feel, man?
Man, it feels good, man. I'm so proud of them boys because like when I was there, we weren't we even though we had won our division back to back years because we were still in the transition period, we could not compete for the championship, even though we had won. So it was teams we beat to sleep that are we're watching play in the championship, and we just beat them the week before, and we couldn't go play. So I'm just proud of them boys because they did something that we weren't allowed to do, and they took it a step further by making the playoffs. So like I couldn't be more proud of those guys. Shout out to JMU and all them boys that's leading the charge now. Like go finish it, beat Oregon.
And it's a winnable matchup. I mean, Oregon is not
Yeah.
the Oregon of last year either. I mean, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they still got pieces, solid
Yeah,
pieces, but that could be an upset of the week. I ain't gonna
it
say
could, it could.
like it definitely could
Good.
be an upset
Mhm.
of the week for sure. So, you know,
Yeah,
all it takes is one game, and one game is all it matters in the college football playoff. Do you
yeah.
feel that the format has allowed schools like JMU and Tulane to get more recognition? Because I feel like what you said, although we beat the team previously before, we wasn't allowed to compete due to certain restrictions and all that. Certain restrictions that happened on with the college football committee. I think I have my personal feeling. I don't really care for the college football committee like that. But everybody has their own opinions on it. We're not gonna
Yeah.
get too political with the committee. But have you feel like the way they have changed not only the playoff format, but just the style of it has allowed teams like a JMU, the school you went to in Tulane, to get more respect.
Yeah, for sure. Just with just how they changed college football in general, it's allowed those smaller schools to have a bigger platform and have at least be seen by the world and get to make more revenue for their schools. So I hear it's a lot of different takes on the state of college football right now, and of course, like some things can be better, but man, I think it's fun, it's exciting, it's giving smaller schools a chance to get more notoriety, publicity, more money. So, I'm for it. I'm excited to see, just how it keeps evolving.
So,
Yeah,
question
I
that was
love it.
good.
No, go ahead, Will. You good?
So I'll ask. So, question that was good about JMU going to college football playoffs and stuff. But question, you work with younger athletes like high school, college football. Are those athletes you working with? Are they still teaching you lessons that you haven't learned yourself?
Man, for sure. I say like, especially like with me coaching on the high school level, man, that played a lot to me. Uh it played a lot into me just maturing. Not saying I was just immature before, but like, I got to the high school level and I realized like, man, these guys are like my little brothers or little cousins for real. So, and I'm responsible for them. Like, I'm a teacher and I have to coach them as well. So like I have to, and they for me being from this city that I'm coaching in, I know that they gonna look up to a lot of the things that I do, whether it be good or bad. So I know I have to set a good example for those guys. Um, so it played a lot into me just learning more about myself on what I need to get better at so I can be a better example for them. So now when they go out to college and when they go out to wherever they're getting ready to do in life, they can have a good example to look at. And I didn't want to um just be the immature coach trying to just fit in with high schoolers. Like that's childish. So it made me have to grow up a little bit more. So I definitely appreciate the opportunity that I have to coach at Hattiesburg High, and to even just be able to train these athletes, because it's needed. And especially for the youth these days, they need something, a positive outlet, and something to where that's fun for them, to where they can come and just be themselves, but also be challenged, be pushed, and grow, and also teach me some things. Like, um, they keep me up to date on like, I guess, slang and stuff like that, and just like different trends and stuff that be going on. So I appreciate it for sure.
So another thing I gotta ask, you know, just throughout the process of college football, throughout that process of training with your teammates, working out, you know, that's a big adjustment from like high school to college as far as like weightlifting, eating. Um, how big of an adjustment was that? I know you talked about it briefly previously, but like how big of an adjustment was that to where like you got to gain a lot of muscle, you got to gain a lot of weight, you got to get strong, you got to still keep your speed. What was that like?
Man, it's tough if you're not already coming into college like on that type of time. It's an adjustment for sure, because like my diet in high school was crap. All I ate was cereal, chips, and like junk food. Like I ate bad, but I worked hard, but I just wasn't eating right. Or so when I got to college, I see how serious, like, they take your weight. Like if they say, "Hey, you got to be 185 pounds," if you step on that scale and you 180 pounds, they're gonna make you stay in there until you at least weigh 184.8 or 184.6 pounds. You have to stay in there and stuff yourself. Whether you got to do it just drinking a bunch of fluids or eating or whatever, they're gonna make you be that weight every day. Or if your weight, or if you below, I mean, if you need to drop weight, like if you 250 pounds and they say you need to be at 243, you need to be 243. And if you don't, they're gonna make you stay. And the more you miss weight, there's a punishment for that. Now, since they're paying players, that's a deduction from, it can be clauses in your contract to where, for you missing weight, or not handling your business in any aspect, they can deduct that from your pay, versus making you do punishment or do an extra lift or run or something like that. So it's definitely serious. And then just on the other aspect of it, while you're maintaining this weight, gaining or dropping, you don't want to lose your athleticism. You don't want to gain all that weight and get stiff and slow. So you got to do the extra work to make sure your hips are still loose, and your muscles are still elastic. Same if you're losing weight. You don't want to get super small and weak. So you got to really go push it harder in the weight room and try to go up in weight or go up in reps. So you can, if I'm going to be smaller and more nimble, I still want to be strong. So it's definitely a challenge, especially coming into college. Now, once you kind of become a vet, you get to year 4, year 5, year 3. Like you should have the hang of it by then. If you're like, one of the better guys on the team, or the guys I said who care about actually taking care of their bodies. But yeah, it's tough. It's definitely something that I tell my high school boys about. Like, hey, you need to start taking care of your body. Like, what's your diet like? Are you eating properly? You stretching? You hydrating? All this, that, and the third. It matters to how you perform.
Absolutely. So before we start to close out, um, Reggie, Will, you guys got any more questions?
Do you miss playing today? Like you wish, like, do you miss like the roar of the crowd, the pregame hypes, just everything that goes on the week of game day, and then game days here, just playing on the big stage.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, I definitely I do at times. Um, cause man, it's nothing in life that just it beats the feeling, the excitement from when you make a play and you just hear the crowd and you see the crowd going crazy from something you just did. Like it's such a good feeling. Even running out of the tunnel, um, and just locker room talks and jokes with the guys. Like I miss that. Um, so I definitely miss it. But I enjoy what I'm doing now. I don't have any regrets for how things played out or with anything. But I do miss it.
And then my final question that I could think of off the top of my head, you talked about your journey, and like you said, you don't regret anything in your life. So I'm not trying to, my question may sound like you regret something, but my
Yeah.
only question would be, instead of going to an Arkansas, transferring to JMU, had you gone to a different school, let's just say an SEC school or Big Ten school, do you feel like the Jerry's that we see today, would he be the same guy that we're talking to today? Or are you one of those people that is defined by, hey, where I go built me, where I went made me the person that I am?
Uh, I guess I'm more of the person that um everything happens for a reason and for the goodness and glory of God. So uh I know that may sound cliche, but that's just what I believe. So I think things played out exactly how they were supposed to. I know, like coming out of high school, of course, I wanted to go Power Four to SEC, Big Ten, ACC, whatever the case. Even out of the portal, because I had a Power Four offers and interest in the transfer portal, but that's like this when I tried to commit to SEC out of high school, God blocked it. In the portal, once again, God blocked it. Like I had an offer actually from Ole Miss, but um it didn't work out. That it didn't feel like that's where I was supposed to be. And where I was supposed to be, the places that I went, it made me who I am now. And then of course my parents always they raised me to be a hard worker and to be a man of character and integrity and all those things. But everything in our lives happen for a reason that's bigger than us. And when you're in alignment, things play out how they're supposed to play out.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I don't think your answer was cliche. At the end of the day, God has a plan for all of us. You may not understand why in the moment, but you'll find out later. And when you get older and you look back at your life, you realize that's why he did what he did. I see,
Hmm.
I understand now. Like you say, you're not gonna understand now, but you understand why somewhere
Uh,
down the line. So it's not cliche.
that's one of my boys. Shout out J1.
Oh, shout out to
It
him.
was one of my high school boys.
So my only last question was, and this is diverting back to earlier statements, but I hear you say that going from Arkansas State to JMU, you wasn't starting. What was
Hmm.
that process like? Like, how did that, build your mindset to knowing like, hey, all right, I'm not the top guy in here, but I still have to work hard. I still have to show my coaches that, hey, I could probably be the best cornerback, to that came out of JMU. Like, what
Hmm.
mindset went through your head during that time?
Man, it was at a point where it like I'm here now. Like I could have transferred again, but I'm the type of person like I don't run from my problems. I'm a face them. So I'm like, shoot, it's put up or shut up. At the end of the day, I know who I am. I know how hard I work. So I'm just bet on myself. I'm not going nowhere. I ain't ducking no smoke. I'm finna stay right here and I'm finna prove them wrong. Like I've always had to do in my life. You say I can't do it, I'm gonna show you that I can. And shoot, it worked out. Like it didn't go exactly how I wanted it to go, especially, during the recruiting process. They, oh, Jared, you are our top guy, this, that, and the third. And I heard it all. And I mean, I didn't take it personal. It's business. They did what they had to do to get me there. And once I got there, things, I had to work for my spot. And it wasn't nothing I wasn't used to. I've always had to work for everything that I got. So I mean, I didn't panic. I was just like, I'm just finna just put my head down and be the best version of myself. And I'm gonna be undeniable. Like, I'm about to go to practice, bust my butt on everything. I'm about to get on special teams and I'm about to dominate. And that's what I did. I dominated on special teams and I forced them to notice me. Like, I'm taking people out of bounds and putting dudes into the turf on a weekly basis to where they like, man, we can't ignore this dude. Like, he just keeps showing up doing good stuff. And eventually, my position coach, he gave me that opportunity in a clutch moment in the game. And shoot, I got a chance to go show my work. So, I didn't panic, bro. It's just that's just who I always been as a person. I just had to dig a little deeper.
A question I had also too. Um, so when you were in high school, did you do multiple sports?
Yeah, I did football and track. I played basketball a little bit, like my ninth grade year, but I was garbage. So I decided to focus on something that I could get more bang for my buck at.
Yeah, and
So
with that being said, like how important is it to you to like encourage the players that you coach, hey, try multiple sports, and really just, try different things.
Oh yeah, like I tell my guys, like, if you're not playing football, you at least need to be running track. Especially if you like a skill position, receiver, DB, shoot, even a linebacker these days. Like, do something extra, just because like different sports help you just become a overall better athlete. So when you do step foot on a football field again, like, you just that much more athletic. Like, basketball may help you increase your lateral movement and quick twitch and your vertical track. Obviously, that's speed, baseball, hand-eye coordination. So, I believe, guys should be multi-sport athletes. It's nothing against you if you're not, but I believe you should be multi-sport athletes.
so I hear you was a two sport athlete. At what point did you realize, like, all right, football is what I really want to do, and you just diverted away from track and field?
Well, I knew football is really what I wanted to do from the get go. Like, really, since third grade, I knew that. But I also knew I wasn't blessed with natural speed. Like, I kind of had quickness, but I wasn't really naturally just fast. So I had to work for my speed. And, I ran track to so I could learn how to run and, do practice sprinting so I could get faster. So, and I was decent in track, but I knew I had no shot of doing track in college. Them dudes run for real, like, and they jump for real, for real. I was just decent from Mississippi high school in track. I knew that. I was cool with that. It just made me a better football athlete. So, yeah, I always knew football is what I really wanted to do, though.
So, you said Tyron Matthew, is your all-time favorite player or just your all-time favorite DB?
All time favorite DB for sure. He might be my all time favorite player actually, just because like I I've modeled so much of my game after his. Like, he inspired me. Like, he was a smaller guy, wasn't very fast, wasn't highly recruited, but he just like he played every position. He played cornerback, nickel, safety. There was nothing in the excuse me, nothing in the defensive backfield that he couldn't do. So that's why like I coined my career off being like a versatile, do it all defensive back because of watching him. Like he he could blitz, play coverage on the corner, the slot, deep safety, and I just like the violence he played with.
Love that question. So can we get your top three favorite players? You already gave us Tyrann Matthew. You could put in whatever order. Top three favorite players, and do you have a favorite team? NFL.
Okay, top three favorite players: Tyron Matthew, Deion Sanders, and do it have okay? I say Tavon Austin from college.
Ooh, that's a good pick
That's a
right
good
there.
one. That's a good one.
Yeah, and then
One. That's so
Tavon was
good.
unreal. And then my favorite team is the Saints. That's
Thanks.
yeah. I'm a loyal Saints fan. We rebuilding right now, man. So
I
don't
mean, y'all
think
had a
too
big
much
win
of
against
us.
the Bucks, so I can't be
Man,
Yeah,
that
that
mad.
was
don't
win
matter.
against Bucks. That was a real good win. I was
The
surprised.
Bucks, the
I
big, the
actually
Bucks
wanted
are
them to
good.
lose. I wanted them to lose. Like just this point, let's just keep losing so we can get the number one overall pick. Like, hey, we ain't going to the playoffs. So
I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Trust me, we feel it. We might not feel it as bad because we got Jaden Daniels, but we feel the pain this year.
oh yeah,
right.
Tell
definitely.
us about it. Yeah.
But y'all got any last comments, last questions before we close up?
I mean, I just want to thank you, taking the time out your that night, come on, talk about your career, talk about, what you're doing now, and, just giving advice, to us young guys who's trying to make it big, not only just in sports, but, in, the chosen career and the chosen field, and how your journey can be an inspiration to, so many people. So I appreciate it.
Oh, Jairus, um, where another question I have, my fault.
Hey, you good?
Uh,
Yeah.
where do you want to take coaching and training? Like, how far? I mean, you don't have to tell us all your plans. It's best to keep some plans to yourself. I understand,
Yeah.
but whatever little bit you can share, like, where do you see yourself with this coaching journey, with this training journey? Where do you see yourself going? Would you ever see yourself like, look, I'm a coach at the college level, I'm a coach at the NFL level? What's your
Yeah.
plan?
Man, I want to be the best version of myself. Simple as that. So if the best version of myself lands me in the NFL coaching, so be it. And, and God say the same. If the best version of myself lands me as being the best trainer in the game, and I just got all these guys and all that, like if it so be it. But if the best version of myself, doesn't land me coaching in the NFL or doesn't have me training 100 NFL guys, like you know, so be it. As long as I'm my best, and I can't get 50 years old and say, man, I wish I would have did this different. I wish I would have went harder. I wish I would have read more books, talked to more people, all that type of stuff. I just want to be the best I can be, and I'm good with that.
Hey man, I love that, man. That's what we all striving to be, try to be our best version of ourselves. So I'm always going to support you on that. And I just want to say thank you for joining the channel tonight. Um, we're
Yes,
going to tap
sir.
in, man. I'm really appreciative of you hopping on and just sharing, your journey, and just I'm excited for your future and everything that you're doing with coaching.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. Like this, it's a great opportunity for me. So thank y'all for having me on. Shoot, these were some really good questions. And I want to see the podcast and shoot, I want to see it go to the next level too. So if I can help you do that, shoot, I'm always gonna be able to help guys out that want to help me out. So appreciate y'all.
I appreciate that, man. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Everybody that's tuning in, I want to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Please be sure to like the live, share the live. leave a comment, um, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the Instagram. Um, Jarius, thank you for coming on tonight. Very appreciative. Amazing show. Will, Reggie, appreciate y'all. Everybody have a good night. Be blessed. Be safe. Until next time, this is the Fourth and Goal Sports Show.
Be
Peace.
Yes,
blessed.
sir.
Peace.
All right,
Be
Peace.
y'all. Be
blessed.
blessed.
Amen.